ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Elmore deep, left side, brilliant, good! From 30 feet, John Elmore!
The Drive with Paul Swann.
Welcome into the Tuesday edition. Your May 21st drive begins now here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Coming up this hour, we're going to talk Marshall baseball. We've got some award winners today announced by the league. We'll get into that. Conference USA tournament's going to begin. And we'll have that action for you tomorrow right here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 as the Thundering Herd will make their first conference tournament appearance since 2016, and they're going to be taking on third-seeded Louisiana Tech in Game 1. Now, the sponsor is the first. So it is the first 2019 Conference USA Baseball Championship presented by Air Force Reserve at MGM Park in Biloxi, Mississippi. Yeah, got to get all that sponsor stuff in. So, the Thundering Herd in action tomorrow. Steve Cotton's going to have the call. We'll have that game for you right here again on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Now, coming up on the show today, and we're going to get into the reasons why here in a second, but Elvis Peralta is going to join us on the program. Now, Peralta was named first-team All-Conference today. Also, guess what? A couple of his teammates have made the list as well. Left-handed pitcher Joshua Shapiro received second-team honors, and freshman outfielder Luke Edwards named to the conference's all-freshman team. The conference making those announcements earlier this afternoon. So Elvis is going to join us on the program. Now, it's a great thing that Elvis is joining us on the program because if this baseball thing doesn't work out, you know there's a music career possibly waiting for him. And when I found out I was going to have him on the show today, I was reminded that there was a little incident that happened in the airport. He was, well, I'll just say this. Midway Airport in Chicago, a great venue if you want to jam out to the tunes of Bon Jovi. Here's what it sounded like.
She says we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a life for love. We'll give it a shot. Whoa.
You should see the accompanying video to that. If you haven't been on social yet, that's a keeper right there. Now, I don't know if Elvis knows I have that. He'll find out later on in the hour when we bring him on the program. But, yeah, congratulations to him. Named All-Conference USA first team. Joshua Shapiro named second team, and freshman outfielder Luke Edwards. He gets named to the conference's all-freshman team. So congratulations to those young men as the Herd getting set for Conference USA tournament action tomorrow. Peralta has been really tough in Conference USA. Remember, he redshirted last season, and guess what? He has been among the best among Conference USA and, of course, all Marshall qualifying batters. His team leading 9 homers are tied for eighth most in the conference, with 8 of 9 coming in conference play. 74 hits this season, 5th in Conference USA. He's also turned 30 double plays. His 41 RBI and 41 runs scored are second most on Marshall this season. So he's had a really good run of it. So congratulations to him. We'll talk to him about this in a few minutes, and we'll go down the list a little bit later on. So, of course, Marshall in the Conference USA tournament. They come into the game tomorrow 28-26 with an 11-12 mark in Conference USA, hoping that they can maybe make some noise. They get there, they sweep Rice in the final series, and now they could see Rice again. Because also on Marshall's side of the bracket, you've got Southern Miss, the second seed. You also have 7th-seeded Rice. So Marshall could see Rice again. Marshall could see Southern Miss. Marshall, of course, will have to stay in the winner's bracket to have the best run at getting to the championship. If they can get into the winner's bracket and keep going, they've got an easier go of it. They have to come out of the loser's bracket. It's going to be a little bit more of a piece of work for them to execute. Marshall, the good news is 4-5 against teams on this side of the bracket this season. Of course, they've got a win against Louisiana Tech, and they've got 3 against Rice, so they have seen some success against a couple of these teams, more so with Rice than Louisiana Tech, but Marshall's rarely been in a situation where they've just been outclassed, so I'm feeling pretty good about their chances. And, of course, it's double elimination, so whatever happens tomorrow, they've got another chance at it. And we'll have those games right here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. So we'll get into all of that. Also, we want to talk later on about what's happening in the NBA and the Stanley Cup. NBA, you've got Game 4 in Canada. They're playing NBA basketball in Canada, and they're playing hockey in St. Louis, Missouri. So the United States is where they're playing hockey right now, and in the NBA, it's being played in Canada. What happened there? That's a flip of the script, so we'll get into all of that. We've got an elimination game coming up tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and, of course, the NBA. Golden State awaiting the winner there because, well, they sweep. Yeah, really wasn't interested in that series. You know why? Because they swept it, and I knew they would do that, and I had no interest whatsoever in watching that. Now we're getting to the finals. All right. Color me a little bit more interested. Almost. Milwaukee, I'm probably more interested in a Golden State-Milwaukee final. But Toronto still has a shot. We'll see. Milwaukee leads that series 2-1. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on the program as well. So we'll do all of that. But when we come back from break, we're going to talk to Conference USA first-teamer Elvis Peralta when we continue with today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Now, back to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Well, the Thundering Herd is getting set to take on Louisiana Tech tomorrow in Game 1 of the 2019 Conference USA Baseball Championship. I hear the weather's pretty nice in Biloxi, Mississippi, and joining us on the program now, he was named first-team All-Conference earlier this afternoon. Marshall shortstop Elvis Peralta with us on the program. Hey, congratulations. First team. That means a lot of people noticed what you were doing this year.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that.
So what was your reaction when you found out that not only did you make All-Conference, that you were first team?
Well, he told me in front of my teammates, like I try not to act like I didn't care, just another day. But I was really happy. I was excited, Called my little brother, my mom, let them know. They were really happy about it. Their reaction was more exciting than my own reaction. Like I talked to them and they were really happy about it. And I was, all the hard work, just little things like that kind of show off of, what you do off the field. And I was happy about that award, too. It's a big deal. All my teammates were congratulating me. I was really excited about it, too.
Yeah, not only did you make All-Conference your first team, Joshua Shapiro gets second team, and Luke Edwards, he also is named to the conference All-Freshman team. How'd you guys feel collectively knowing that maybe people were starting to pay attention in Conference USA to Marshall baseball?
Yeah, Joshua Shapiro has been a guy for us. He's been our ace all year. That dude's been dominating. If I had to choose, I would put him on first team as well. And, it's just nice us, getting some recognition, putting Marshall back on the map. We haven't made the Conference USA tournament in two years. So, we're just trying to do whatever we can, to let people know that Marshall baseball can play.
This season's sort of been it's been an exciting season, not only on the field, off the field. Of course, this team, I think, has done the most with the least of any college baseball team. And now you've got a temporary facility, Route 2. You're playing closer to home. You don't have to go out and feel like you're the road team on every game, home and away. the same time, the future's looking bright. Marshall Baseball's getting a brand new facility here in the next couple of years. So it feels like you're on the ground floor, really, or maybe you're on the last level of everything before the penthouse is put up there, that you're the last pillar. You guys are paving the way finally for everything to maybe fall into place.
Yeah, it was actually nice. We, like a lot of our teammates and all of us, we were very excited about being at Route 2. You know, like, yeah, Power Park is a nice place, but it still felt like you were away. You know, like you were home, but you were away. And us being there in Route 2, maybe, you know, it's not what we wanted, but we're getting this field. And us being in that was our home field because we practiced there. You know, we grind there together. We sweat, we run. You know, everything there. Like, we felt comfortable playing in that place, and I feel like that was a big reason why we had such a good season. And all our guys, we just came together in that field. It just felt like home, and like that feeling right there of home is, I think, was what we needed, and paving the way for those guys coming too. Like, you don't need a field to be good. You know, you get on that field, in between those lines, we're all equal. So that, like, I feel like that's how we felt like, and having that field kind of, you know, right before the new stadium, we're just really happy playing there. All of our home games, first time too, so it was nice.
Kind of feels like you haven't been forgotten because you never know. Okay, is Marshall home or are they on the road? Well, okay, they're in Charleston, so they're on the road. You're in Beckley, so you got to see a lot of the country. You got to travel a lot before settling down in Route 2.
Yeah, like that was a big thing too. Like, playing conference, different fields, like, it almost felt like just a neutral spot. You would never felt that comfort. Now we do, which is nice, not having to drive 2 hours to Beckley or drive an hour to Charleston all the time. So it was nice. It was nice playing at the John F. Kennedy Center.
Elvis Peralta joining us, named first-team All-Conference today. Thundering Herd in the Conference USA Tournament, taking on Louisiana Tech. Game 1 tomorrow in Biloxi, Mississippi. And to get there, you did it in dramatic fashion. This team not only had to win the series against Rice, you swept that series, walk-off fashion, making it as dramatic as possible all 3 games. How'd that feel? I know there's a big celebration after it was all said and done. This is Rice. This is a perennial power in Conference USA coming in to your home field, and you sweep them. You get into the Conference USA tournament. If you could just, what was the excitement, the jubilation like for that?
Oh, man, we were all so excited about it. It was honestly something. I've never been a part of 3 walk-offs consecutively like that. It was unbelievable. Like, I still couldn't believe that happened, especially to a team with probably the most tradition in our conference. You know, Rice. Like, everybody knows it's Rice. We haven't had them in our conference schedule, and I think about 4 seasons, and we just got them back this year to sweep them, to like clinch a spot in the tournament. It was unbelievable. Like, the excitement was unreal. Like, our team showed so much resilience with all 3 games, you know, and there was 3 different guys that stepped up and helped us win those games. Everybody stepped up. We had young guys step up. It was just amazing. It was honestly a great feeling to know that we did that against a really good team and got us back in the tournament after being out of it for 2 years. It was amazing.
Are you feeling the buzz? Maybe the fans are picking up on the excitement that is Marshall baseball. Have you felt any of that?
Yeah, I have. And like towards like the end of the year, you started feeling a little more. You know, like at first there was not much people, but then like you started feeling, everybody started like, okay, Marshall baseball is getting their stuff back in there. This is good, a good team, and you started feeling it more and more as the year went on, and it felt nice. It felt nice having those people behind you, believing in you.
Going into the game tomorrow, you got Louisiana Tech, and then you have a possibility you could play Rice again. You've got Southern Miss on your side of the bracket as well. How are you feeling about this side of the bracket and these teams?
I'm honestly feel very confident because just like this year, any team is beatable. And like, yeah, we saw Louisiana Tech, and I feel like this is a little revenge game for us because they did take two out of 3 from us. And I'm very confident in Shapiro. He threw really well against them. Like, I'm going in there, our whole team, we're very confident. We kind of wanted them, you know, we're okay. Got Southern Miss, got Rice in our bracket, and I feel like all those teams we easily could beat them. Southern Miss, we went in there, we got swept, a couple games slipped up, but I think our team were prepared for anybody, and I think we could beat anybody in this tournament, and I believe we are the best team. So I feel pretty confident with anybody we play.
You guys are going into this pretty loose. You sweep Rice. You got to be feeling good. You're excited to get in. How relaxed are you guys?
I think we're honestly pretty relaxed. You know, the week before we got swept by ODU, and it was kind of tough on us. You know, like, damn, like you kind of like lose a little confidence, and then us sweeping Rice, we got all the confidence back in the world. We feel really confident within ourselves. I mean, we keep saying we're the hottest team coming into the tournament, so I think everybody feels pretty good within themselves and knowing that we could do something great this tournament.
Elvis Peralta joining us on the program, named first team all-conference earlier this afternoon. So you're now down in Biloxi, Mississippi. You're enjoying the weather. It feels pretty good down there, and it's going to be hopefully a few beautiful days for baseball. How was travel yesterday? I know you guys got to fly down, so how was that?
Travel was rough. I mean, we left at 8:30 in the morning, and we arrived here probably like about 9:30 at night because we had a long layover and, you know, a couple of drives on the bus, 3-hour drive to the airport, took 2 flights. But, I mean, we're here. We got a good rest, and I feel pretty good. The travel was not the best, but we made it.
With all that layover time, what do you guys do? I mean, because I know you have to just make the time go by. So what are you guys doing usually with all that layover time?
Well, we were there for like 3 hours. Me and one of my teammates, Lou Edwards, actually, we got so bored we actually started singing. So we were trying to kill time as much as possible, walking around, trying to get some food, you know, but just chilling most of the time.
Did it sound like this?
She says we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a life for love. We'll give it a shot. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Take my hand.
I think you got a music career going on there if baseball doesn't pan out for you.
Yeah, we were like, honestly, during the Charlotte series, that song came on, and like, me and Luke never did it before, and like for some reason we started like singing it so loudly, so we decided to do it again in the airport, and it was pretty funny. It was a good time.
So
the crowd loved it too. The lady over the overcom, she was telling us to keep singing. She didn't want us to stop, so it was good.
Did she not just put you on the intercom, let you guys sing to the entire airport?
I mean, I know me and Luke would have done that for sure.
I was asking, it's like, do you do that on a regular basis? And like, no, this was just totally off the top of your head. So you guys really must have just been feeling it.
Well, like, I sing a lot, you know, like all the time. Like I probably sing 70% of the time when I'm with the guys. So they love it, and like it's kind of catchy. So me singing all the time, kind of Lou got into it. So like now we do it all the time. It's like a thing that we do. We're always singing.
So if you win, you're going to have to – that's new superstition now. You're going to have to keep doing that now, even in the dugout.
No, 100%. Oh, I sing in the dugout all the time. Like, I'm pretty sure the fans at home can hear me singing. Because I know I have my girlfriend. She comes to the games, and she tells me all the time how she can hear us singing loudly in the dugout. So I think the crowd likes it too. So I'm going to keep doing it for sure.
Elvis Peralta joining us on the program, first team all-conference today, and a avid singer. So what do you like to sing? What are you singing if you're controlling the music?
I mean, I go so, like, there's so much different type of music and genre that I like. I usually like singing things that people could probably sing along to, you know, like probably, Living on a Prayer is something classic that everybody probably knows. Sometimes I'll just sing, like, sentences. Like, randomly, I'll just sing my words. Like, so I'll just sing anything. I kind of like listening to, I listen to a lot of rap music, though, so, like, I really won't sing that. So I'll kind of go in there and, like, mix up my music and try to get some classic rock in there to see if I could gets people to sing along with me, and it usually works.
So you're the guy dragging everyone out to sing karaoke.
Yes, every time. I told the guys that we have to do a karaoke night. We have to, at least on the bus. I mean, no one wants to do it because but I'm gonna try to get them to budge here soon.
Joining us on the program, avid singer and first-team All-Conference winner today, Elvis Peralta. Up next for you, Louisiana Tech Game 1, Conference USA Baseball Championship. Bright and early, sort of, tomorrow in Mississippi. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you doing this. Congratulations. And, again, if that baseball thing maybe gets boring to you, you've got this singing career. Maybe you're going to go on The Voice or American Idol. Have you picked yet?
I watch a lot of Voice and American Idol. So, I always thought about it. And one of my teammates actually told me that, honestly, to take it into consideration. But I don't know. I might just leave it to singing to my teammates. I don't know. I might go further than that. But I appreciate you having me on here today. And thank you so much.
Congratulations again. And good luck in the conference tournament.
All right. Thank you.
Elvis Peralta joining us on the program. Named first team All-Conference today. Conference USA, Marshall's outstanding shortstop. And again, earlier in the program, if you missed it, well, Elvis sings.
Says we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a life for love. We'll give it a shot.
Thundering Herd Baseball, living on a prayer. Paul Swann, your host. It is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. We got more on the way. We'll get into what's happening. NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, Western Conference Final, Game 6, elimination game coming up tonight. Also, NBA playoff action continues. We'll get into all of that, and we'll talk a little bit more about the contract that Conference USA has entered into with the NFL Network. We'll break that down a little bit more when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann, the 2019 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Best Talk Show on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Marshall basketball in the news today. Thundering Herd going to be playing Florida. Now, Florida released their non-conference schedule today, and Marshall's on the schedule. They're going to be in Gainesville on November the 29th. So, Thundering Herd, Florida going to meet. Florida is always a hotbed for recruiting for Doc Holliday and his football team. Hey, maybe it can be a hotbed for Dan D'Antoni and his Thundering Herd team. So add that to, if you're keeping a schedule at home before the official schedule is released, if you're keeping one at home, piecing it all together, add the schedule of Friday, November 29th, Marshall in Gainesville taking on Florida. And that's what's happening for the Thundering Herd on the basketball side. And, of course, tomorrow we've got Marshall baseball, Conference USA action. Thundering Herd taking on Louisiana Tech. Game 1, first pitch a little bit after 10 o'clock. And, of course, again, going to play this thing by ear. Weather, everything else always is a factor. But Marshall's got the first game of the day tomorrow. We go on the air about 9:50 tomorrow right here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. For those of you who will be looking for Metro News Talk Line with Hoppy Kercheval, you want to go to wvmetronews.com. You can catch the live stream there as we will be carrying the Marshall baseball game. So the Thundering Herd baseball team in action. Maybe, just maybe, this will lead to some bigger and better things for the Thundering Herd. You can watch these games on ESPN Plus as well. So if you can't listen to our stream tomorrow or our feed, you can watch it on ESPN Plus. And speaking of television, yesterday we talked about it briefly. Conference USA and the NFL Network have reached an agreement. They're going to partner up for a few years to carry Conference USA football action. It's going to be Saturday football, so none of this Thursday, Friday stuff that some of you don't like. None of this action that you see on the midweeks that nobody shows up for. Instead, good old-fashioned college football on a Saturday. Now, this isn't out of character for the NHL. I'm sorry, this isn't out of character for the NFL Network because they've shown programming that has been non-NFL for a time now. They've done some college football in the past. They've done some other programming. You know what? Alliance of American Football, Canadian football, I've seen that. So there have been other leagues and other brands of football on the NFL network. And, of course, college is tied into the NFL because, well, where do you think these players come from? They come from the college game. And while this isn't going to be a blockbuster money deal, because they're cutting budgets back at the NFL network. They're cutting about $20 million back. And so this is programming, this is content. I don't know if this is they're going to cover the production and Conference USA is going to supply the product, how this is going to work, what the financials are. This could be one of those where it just makes sense for both. Everybody's getting something out of it. If that's the case, I'm good with it. I'm not expecting a blockbuster monetary deal here. Not in this day and age. Television prices are going up. Programming costs are going up. Cable is losing many times over. Satellite, too, when it comes to subscribers. People are choosing more options as far as a la carte. A lot of people don't want to pay for the sports packages. I cut the sports packages off in the off season. I'm keeping ESPN Plus, and that's $4.99 a month out of my wallet. And I'm going to watch Marshall baseball tomorrow while I listen to Steve Cotton. So, I've got its uses there for me. But for a lot of people, they're cutting back. And so I don't expect this to be a huge deal money-wise. Maybe we'll get the commissioner on sometime in the future. We couldn't get her on this week, but we're going to try to get her on here in the future, see if she'll talk a little bit about it. Still, that's 10 games a year. And I know the press release that came out yesterday, there was some confusion among some. I presumed it was 10 games per year for the life of the deal. And so that's 10 opportunities to be on the NFL Network, which has a pretty good reach. I mean, this is more of a national television network than in past. You're going to get more play and you're going to get more bang for your buck. You're going to get more out of being on the NFL Network than you would beIN Sports. Stadium's nice. It's okay. It's a nice fallback. It's okay. But if you're going to tell me my options are the NFL Network or Stadium, I'm going to take the NFL Network. If you're going to tell me my options are Stadium or ESPN Plus, I'm going to take ESPN Plus. And, of course, CBS Sports Network as well. I think they do a good job. They might not have the impact and the reach of ESPN or maybe even FS1. They might not have it, but they're a player in the space. They need programming as well. I think they've done a pretty good job as far as covering Marshall Athletics, Conference USA. So I like this NFL Network deal because, again, it gives visibility to the Thundering Herd. And just anecdotally, just a quick survey of some of you on social, you like it as well. You seem to be happy with it. You can get NFL Network. You know what it is. You can find it. You don't have to look for it. It's more available than beIN. Plus, I'm sure NFL Network, to a degree, is saying, look, we're a channel you have to carry because, look, we've got this. We've got the NFL product. Hey, we've got some Conference USA football. We've got reasons why, we're a channel you should carry because it's not a guarantee that cable and satellite outlets are going to carry your channel, and you've got to give them a reason to be valuable to the consumer. Because again, it's a world now where years ago you either had cable or you didn't, and if you wanted to watch TV, you either put up the antenna, the rabbit ears, or you got cable. Now you don't even need cable. You don't need satellite. You can put up the rabbit ears if you want, and you can stream. You can even get the device that you can record what you, believe it or not, you can record what you get over the air and connect that to a device where you have all your streaming services. Amazon, very smart in what they're doing with their products. And so this is a good deal for the Thundering Herd, one, because I think it just gives Marshall and Conference USA a bigger footprint. It just expands the footprint a lot more. Now, again, this isn't going to turn Conference USA into a huge moneymaker overnight, but I do like the deal. When we come back from break, we'll talk about what's happening tonight. Game 6, St. Louis, Missouri, Sharks and the Blues. Also, NBA playoffs, Game 4 in Canada. That's right, the NBA in Canada, the NHL in Missouri. That doesn't sound right. We'll talk about that when we continue with today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We've got NBA and we've got NHL action taking center stage tonight. Welcome back to tonight's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. So last night, they're down 17 points in the second half. What do the Warriors do? What do they do? Well, they come back and they beat the Trailblazers, go to overtime to sweep the series, and they advance their 5th straight NBA Finals. Okay, totally bored with this. Here we are again. Golden State back in the finals. Oh boy. And you know, if you're a Golden State fan, you're like, shut up. This is great. If you're a Golden State fan, you're all about this right now. Or if you're one of those new Golden State fans, you're all about this right now. They're going back to the finals, and they could win another championship. That could be 4 out of 5. And you know what? When the Lakers were doing it, I was good with it too. I was completely good with it. And if I look back and think, you know, it sure wasn't boring when the Bulls were doing this, and it sure wasn't boring when the Lakers were doing this. And, well, we were watching, we thought, and maybe still is, a once-in-a-lifetime player, Michael Jordan. And with the Lakers, well, Showtime. It was just a thing. We all like the Lakers. Now Golden State could be the first team in the last 20 seasons to win 3 straight playoff games. Well, actually, no, they became the first team in the last 20 seasons to win 3 straight playoff games after trailing by 15 points, and now they're back in the finals. It could be 4 out of 5. 4 championships out of 5. That's a dynasty right there. Okay, now we go to a sport where you don't know who's going to be in the Stanley Cup. You just don't know. And you've got a situation where tonight, an elimination game, Game 6, Western Conference Final, San Jose and the St. Louis Blues. The Sharks and the Blues, St. Louis leads the series 3-2. And if St. Louis can win, they will be back in the Cup for the first time since before I was born. The Blues need to win tonight. They will get back into the Stanley Cup first time since 1970. That's right, 1970. I have never in my lifetime seen the St. Louis Blues in the Stanley Cup final. No one over a certain age has. And you know what? They did it in the first 3 seasons of the NHL when they were in. The Blues have reached the semifinals 5 times. Now they're just 1 win away from facing the Boston Bruins and the rematch of, guess what? That 1970 final. That's right. St. Louis Blues have been waiting 49 years to get revenge for that Stanley Cup final. They have waited long. There's probably people who are 70, 80. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody who's in his 90s, bless his heart, who has waited 49 years. 49 years to get back in the Stanley Cup. Of course, as a Bengals fan, I've seen the Bengals in the Super Bowl. As a Bengals fan, I have not seen the Bengals win the Super Bowl, but you know what? They've been there at least. Okay, small prize it is. Not much, but all right. I've seen my hockey team win in the Stanley Cup. I've seen my NBA team win in the NBA Finals. I have seen my team win the World Series. I've seen that. If you are a St. Louis Blues fan, you have not seen your team in the Stanley Cup final for 49 years, and you've never seen them win a Stanley Cup. I don't know what's worse there. The fact that they have never won or they haven't had a chance to win one for 49 years. Wow. That's crazy. So that's happening tonight. And, of course, the Sharks are not going to go away easily. They're going to have to win 2 straight. And you know what? They could do it because the LA Kings did it a few years ago. You remember? You remember that? Los Angeles in 2014. They did it. That would be crazy if the Sharks could be the second team in NHL history to win 3 Game 7s to reach the finals. So they would join the Kings, who did it in 2014. And there's only one other team in league history that has won 3 Game 7s in a single postseason, and that was the Bruins. They did it in 2011, defeating the Canucks in a 7-game Stanley Cup final. So what else is amazing about this is the St. Louis Blues had the NHL's worst record. What's that mean in January? What's that mean? In January 2nd, worst team in the league. Nobody's ever gone from last place after its 20th game to Stanley Cup champion within a season. Nobody's done that. Nobody. You might have been in the bottom 3, but nobody has done that. By the way, Stanley Cup final begins on Memorial Day. That's right. We've got Memorial Day hockey on the 27th, and that's going to be in Boston. So that's what we got coming up for the NHL. And, of course, Milwaukee and Toronto, 8:30 o'clock tonight on TNT. Milwaukee leads that series 2-1. As you can tell, I'm not watching that. Come on, man. You know where I'm going to be. You know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be watching hockey tonight. It's a better series, a better game. I will watch the NBA Finals. I'm going to promise you that. I'm going to watch the NBA Finals. I'll work that into my schedule. But I'm hoping that I've got some baseball to be watching because tomorrow we've got Thundering Herd baseball. Number 6 seed Marshall takes on the 3 seed Louisiana Tech. And if Marshall wins, they will continue on the winner's bracket. If they lose, they will be in an elimination game because it's a double elimination tournament. If you lose once, you have a shot to get yourself back into the championship hunt. If you win, you advance on. If you get to the championship game and you lose, you got to play another game. It's double elimination. I like that. I kind of like that. I know softball does a little bit different, but I like the baseball side of things, how they do this. So that's coming up, and again, we'll have that for you tomorrow. About 9:50, give or take, is when we go on the air with that tomorrow, and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Steve Cotton's going to have the call on that one. That should be fun. We haven't had Conference USA tournament baseball since 2016, so I know Steve goes down every year, loves baseball. He's going to do a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to it. And for those of you who maybe want to catch something else, if you tune in for Talk Line with Hobby Kirchhoff, my best recommendation for you is head over to wvmetronews.com. You can watch the video stream. You can watch Hoppy on the video stream just for this one time as we've got Herd baseball. You can listen to the Herd, watch Hoppy on the web stream, whatever you need to do. You get the best of both worlds. So that's what I would recommend to you. Tomorrow, if you're looking for Talk Line instead of Herd Baseball, and if you're looking for Herd Baseball, we'll have it for you live from Biloxi, Mississippi. Thundering Herd taking on Louisiana Tech in Game 1 of the Conference USA Baseball Championship presented by Air Force Reserve at MGM Park and Biloxi, Mississippi. I don't know why I'm obligated to that, I guess. I don't know. That's going to do it for this edition of The Drive, presented by Miller Lite phone lines. We appreciate Elvis Peralta being on today's Miller Lite phone lines. That's going to do it for this edition of the show. Back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. We'll find out if I'm going to be preempted on the following day for baseball. We'll figure it out. We'll tell you what's going to be happening. And that's all tomorrow. Herd Baseball, 9:50 in the morning. Enjoy the Herd. Hopefully we're talking about a win tomorrow evening. For Elvis Peralta, appreciate him being on the program. I'm Paul Swann. This has been The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
WRVC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.